We appear to have a booth that is dedicated to the primitive look or dungeon, you know, whatever you're going for. Even the ice tongs are looking a little sinister. And let's see, I don't actually know what these are. Prying hook. Okay, so it is for your dungeon.
Well, if you got $1, well, just lousy down. Know that I got rhythm that could suit your budget fine.
I am at Dusty Road Merchants in downtown Oswego, Illinois, right across the street from the Oswego Public Library, where I have been multiple times. This is a new store to me. I am familiar with it. They actually had a satellite location within Rustic Fox, and I have shown their location on some of my Rustic Fox videos. They were one of the best booths at the Rustic Fox, with some absolutely beautiful pieces of furniture, just a great primitive aesthetic, and really excited to see what I will find at Dusty Road Merchants in Oswego. So right out of the gate, they announced they are vintage, art, antiques, and garden, and they've got some great primitives right here on the outside. Always good to see some general price points. So milk can, 42 bucks. That's a pretty good, comparable price to what I'm seeing in a lot of the other vintage stores. This is kind of a neat piece. You don't see all that often. This really nice rusty and crusty wheel rim, 65 bucks. That would look really nice, you know, just leaned up in a garden display, just like they've got it here. They've even got the hay bales going on. So hay bales not just for Halloween anymore. But check out this farm table. So it is under a covered porch, but it's pretty open. And just look at the beautiful wood, how they finished this garden bench. Looks like this white piece on the back is actually attached. So you just have a really nice gardening bench, I guess, whether for inside or out. Looks great with some ironstone on there, or some of the rusty pieces that they've got on display. And I haven't even gotten in the store yet. So we've got all of this on display. Now some of this is looking like pretend vintage, but you know, there's a market for that, and there's a good mix. So we're getting to the front doors. Let's see what's inside. So I find it ironic, well, not really ironic, coincidental, that as I was driving here, I was listening to a podcast by Antiques Freaks, and I highly encourage you to follow them, Antiques Freaks podcast. They were doing an episode on Ray Dunn. They do deep dives similar to the way I do them, where they just take one topic and take it to task. So they do collectibles as well as vintage, and they were talking about Ray Dunn and how resellers have really changed that market, and the knockoffs of Ray Dunn. And I walk through this shop, and here you go. It's a knockoff of Ray Dunn and the Ray Dunn font that just is a pillow for Oswego. But it's a very distinctive font. I don't actually see Ray Dunn in the booth, but it's definitely that look. The booth definitely has that look. So they added the Oswego pillows, and because that's where we are, Oswego. So this is the caliber of furniture that I'd seen at their other location at the Rustic Fox. Just check out this Hoosier cabinet. One, it's significantly larger than a typical cabinet, and actually probably isn't a Hoosier cabinet, because this set of drawers is extremely shallow, like almost like they're for maps or something. So I don't know if this would have been in a kitchen or not, but it's got kind of the Hoosier top to it. Let's see if if they've got the flower dispenser. No, so there's no flower dispenser, nor does it look like there was a place for the flower. So this may have just been a library cabinet. But regardless, absolutely gorgeous piece. It is $3,200, but I would say worth every penny, because this is extremely good sized piece. Looks like it's extremely well built and would be a pride of place piece for any primitive home to show this type of wooden furniture. For those familiar with my channel, you know I do have a science background, a degree in chemistry. So I do like when I find things like this. And it's just this great vintage microscope. It even has a slide included on it. But it comes in this great box with, looks like the slides would go up into this section. Not sure what this is. Perfect, which I guess is the model. 5 pieces dissecting kit. So a little place to hold that. And this great piece, the microscope, and this great box is only 24 bucks. So not really something I can pick up to resell, but great price for a really unique piece to have on display in your own home. And as I was finishing looking at the microscope, I saw these great adaptive reuse of these vintage books turned into clocks. Thought that was creative. And then I started noticing the bookshelf, and I worked my way up and discovered that it's Guido Weld's. And Guido Weld's is, as you can see, they're on Instagram. They also had a location at Vintage Marketplace when I was there. They were the ones, I did several videos of their booth. They had a lot of swung glass there, just a lot of great pieces. I thought what they carried and what I carried were really complemented each other. And so they seem to have gone a little bit more on the industrial side, but some great, items. So they've got, some great tools down here. Some fun, like even just the pool balls for $3 a piece. Throw those in a little bowl. You've got something fun. Ashtrays. And what was funny is I had seen this, the Tony the Tiger tray, and I'm like, I've seen this before. Well, they must have had it at Vintage Marketplace. They moved it here. So I'm glad to see that Guido Weld's is alive and well here at Dusty Road Merchants. They've got some great stuff, and great to explore more of their vintage as well as the bookshelves that they make and sell. So as you look past this amazing form of a mid-century modern lamp, you come down to an even equally amazing form. And I feel like I'm turning into a broken record, but I can't emphasize enough how often we run across Hager when we're here in the western suburbs of Chicago, because it was manufactured not that far away. Although I am farther south, so it is a little bit farther than normal. But check out this table lighter. So it still has the lighting canister in it, but it's kind of like even like a mid-century modern interpretation of Aladdin's lamp. And it is marked Hager right on the bottom in both the gold stamp as well as Royal Hager molded into the bottom. Amazing piece. I've never seen that form before, and it's only 22 bucks. So a great piece. And I think, I'm still in Guido Weld's booth. So once again, they've got great stuff. So Idaho is not the only place you can get potatoes, and evidently if you get potatoes in Minnesota, they come with a little special extra in their advertisement. So this one's for you, Vinny. We got our own pinup girl selling potatoes from Big Lake, Minnesota. So amongst all these great copper molds, some probably older than others, there is a small creamer and sugar set, which I might have shown these before, but this is something that long before I was in reselling, I was always attracted by this design or concept. It's Farberware called Chrome Craft. These are the amber glass, which aren't nearly as desirable. They do some in purple, which is gorgeous. They do it in blue. They have other colors, and it's just got this great chrome accent with the glass piece either attached or setting, and these look like they're attached. They're not particularly valuable. This is, $15, which for the amber is probably pretty much the going rate for creamer and sugar. But they have, little cordial glasses and all kinds of barware. It's something you can definitely be on the lookout for, because it gives you a really deco look with that chrome, but then you get the colored glass, which just really adds to it. And it's almost always marked because it's always metal encased, and you would see right at the top Chrome Craft spelled with a K, so Chrome Craft by Farber Brothers, New York. And then there's like some fake hallmarks and stuff in there. But that's how they're usually marked. So Chromecraft Farberware. It's just a fun piece to be on the lookout for. And if you find the colored glass pieces, be a little bit more valuable and make some really nice additions to your decor. So admittedly, Dusty Road Merchants was smaller than I had realized. It did not take me very long to go through there. And it is like many of the home decor stores in the area, like Rustic Fox and Vintage Marketplace. It's a mix of decor and actual vintage. So I know I don't have enough video to fill an entire video just with the shop with me at Dusty Road Merchants. It was an absolutely beautiful shop, but I also didn't pick up anything, so I don't have a haul video. So went to my trusty map and Googled what was nearby, and right around the corner is another store that I've never been in, and also one I've never heard of, called Happenstance Goods. It's right around the corner, also in downtown, like a little bit more true downtown Oswego. It says it's antique and vintage. Let's see what we've got in store. So check out the graphics on this Rodeo Action mobile game. It's still in its box, and the graphics on the box, and then the graphics, you know, kind of like the Western look, but it is just cowboys, not. Oh, you got a clown, got a rodeo clown. It's a pinball machine by Wolverine, made in the USA, from Pittsburgh. Now what's interesting is both the address there and the address I found someplace else on the back does not have a zip code, so I'm assuming this is 50s or early 60s, but check that out. Rodeo Action marble game. That's such one giant graphic. That would just look great sitting on a shelf all by itself. And then on top of it, you get the cool game. So it's 21 bucks. Good price, not good enough for me to pick up for resale, but definitely something I wanted to showcase here at the store in Oswego. Okay, I have never heard of this game, but I feel like this could go very, very wrong in the wrong hands. It's called Feely Mealy, and it's by Milton Bradley. And based on the way they're dressed, I'm going to say 60s, early 70s. And it appears to be a game where you put things in the box and feel for what they are. So she has found a frog. He has found a spider and a little mirror and a drum. She's found some jewelry and whatever that is, a cart, I guess. I'm assuming all these things come in it. Like I said, I've never heard of this toy. It is $75, so I'm going to assume, it says 1967. I'm going to assume that, you know, they've done their research and that that's what these go for. The graphic is awesome, but just the concept of the game, you can see it in the box. There's the little place where you stick your hand and see what you find on the inside. So even with Katie on speed dial from Vintage and Vinyl, I still have no idea what I'm looking at or looking for when I look at albums. But I did catch this one. And, you know, it's one of those cases that Halloween things do well. You know, the idea of scary tales. The artwork on this is actually pretty cool. It's 15 bucks, so I'm not going to pick it up. But I found it interesting when I looked at the back, because it is scary tales. But if you look at the list of stories, it's scary tales from Mother Goose. And then a tisket, a casket, and then we go into Hansel and Gretel, which I guess that can be pretty grim, because it is a grim tale. Sorry, I couldn't resist. But then you've got the Spider and the Fly, which I guess can be considered creepy, but Little Red Riding Hood, I mean, it's I'm wondering if they changed the story to make them creepier and to make them more scary. Now, I do not know who Zachary is. That apparently is Zachary. So it is his stories, but, you know, there's some tongue-in-cheek stuff here, because it says, among the followers of Zachary, whatchamacallits are Jack Parr, Pat Boone, Dave Caraway, Chubby Checker, you know, people that you wouldn't necessarily put in the horror genre. So anyway, Scary Tales is going to be left behind, but it is one of those cases that you're looking for Halloween vignettes that would make a pretty cool backdrop for one. So this is something I don't really come across all that often, and to be 100% honest, I'm not even sure how to play these, but the concept is you buy 5 punches for $1 or 25 cents each, and you pick a hole and you poke a little rod into the hole. And if you have a gold ball, I guess when you punch the hole, you get the jackpot. A red ball receives $1 and a white ball receives 50 cents. This appears to be completely unpunched, and it's still got, you know, some cellophane around it, but then I looked at the back and it actually still has the little puncher thing in its cellophane behind. So this appears to be completely new, and you can see none of these are punched on the back either. So this is the kind of instructions that I guess from, if you bought this from the vendor, it's saying that if you sell 800 holes at an average of 20 cents a piece, you'll earn $160. And then what you're giving out for jackpots is payouts is average payout is $114.50. So your average profit is $45.50. So, I mean, I guess that's, I don't know what you would pay to buy these, but it's kind of interesting that it's all still together. It's $27. It almost feels like a huckster item, but I don't really think this is going to mix with my aesthetic, so I'm not going to pick it up. But they've got this one, and then they've got this style here too, kind of the same idea, but there's 2 different sizes of punch outs. So kind of cool. I don't know if you guys know anything more about those or what era these would be from. I'd be curious to learn more, because it's just, like I said, not something that I've ever seen, certainly not new old stock. So kind of cool. It's always fun to look at old Tonka trucks. I don't really necessarily come across them all that often, but this is a really nice display. And what's kind of fun about them, and something that I certainly wouldn't have remembered as a kid, but you can see the logo on the top of this camper, but then also on that box and that box, they were advertising not only that these were made from steel, but they were made from Pittsburgh steel. So you've got the logo from Pittsburgh steel in these Tonka trucks, which then became the logo for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The boxes, this one with the truck and the horse is $125 because it comes with the original box. So kind of cool that they definitely were using it at the time, because these were metal trucks, and then at some point they became plastic and that went away. So back in the corner, we appear to have a booth that is dedicated to the primitive look or dungeon, whatever you're going for. So we've got barbed wire wreaths, we've got a giant saw blade, 30-inch saw blade. Even the ice tongs are looking a little sinister. And let's see, I don't actually know what these are. Let's see if I can look at this without stabbing myself. Prying hook. Okay, so it is for your dungeon. So some pretty cool stuff, and definitely farm equipment. One of the things I thought was kind of cool, because a lot of people don't think of this. You find sewing machine cabinets all the time, but sometimes the wood has fallen apart or it's damaged. That if you look at the individual pieces that make up those cabinets, that is the side of the sewing machine cabinet for Singer. That would look cool even just mounted on the wall all by itself, or to make a new table of some sort. You'd have to rig it in some way because the crossbar is no longer there. But just kind of a cool design. Like I said, they are selling these. It looks like they're selling them as a pair. But I just think even one hanging on a wall would look kind of cool. This admittedly is something that you don't typically, or I don't typically see in a vintage shop like this. A booth dedicated to reclaimed wood and architectural salvage. Usually the pieces are so big they won't fit in booths, but you know, here we've got original doors. And check out some cool hardware glass door, and it's only 95 bucks. You got some window casings, you got some original beadboard, some lumber, some beams that have been cut down to do shelving. I thought this door was kind of cool with metals, like almost like a barn, you know, horse door. It saves for an old post office, so that's kind of cool. You'd have a post office door. It's not very tall. It's probably only maybe not even, I don't even think it's 6 feet tall. Measurements aren't on here, but 110 bucks, like, you know, if you could rig that into, you know, your decor, that would just be kind of a cool piece. And then we've got screens. We've got some smaller pieces here. What's this? Oh, it's even got some of the, you know, the architectural. This was a cabinet backsplash, and it still has the little carving on the front. So kind of neat to see something like this in a vintage store such as Happenstance Goods. And what do we have here? More Hager. So it won't be one of my longest videos, but I decided to go ahead and stop at these two. So Dusty Road Merchants and Happenstance Goods, both in downtown Oswego. So they are walking distance to each other. There is another one around the corner, evidently, but it's the weekend and it closed already, so I did not get a chance to film there. So I didn't pick up anything at these two shops, but that is no indication of the quality of what they had. They had some really nice vintage in both of them. Nothing that I just felt was in a price that I could resell it. Which is completely expected in something like this. They've already done the curation, so they're already pricing it to be a fair price, and there was nothing that really matched what I was looking to add for my decor. But I'm still glad I stopped by, because again, these were two shops that I was not familiar with, so now I can at least mentally check them off my list, and maybe if I'm in the area again, I can swing by, because I know that they're both quality shops that will have merchandise that will interest me, even if I walk away empty-handed. So I hope you enjoyed the videos, and sorry you didn't get any haul video to go along with it, but you know, it's not always about the haul. Sometimes it's just about the shopping. So if you've gone this far and you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd really appreciate you going ahead and hit that subscribe button, like the video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, comment on what you liked or what you saw. Whatever you do sometimes does help YouTube share or know to share my content with other people who like similar content. So it does make a difference. So appreciate you giving me your time. Appreciate you putting your trust in Trusty Huckster, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.
Well, show me a sign if you're wishing me to stay. Otherwise, I say goodbye and finish out the day. And that sunrise in the morning and you got nothing to say. Oh, that's when I'll be headed on my way.